Call meeting to order. Let's join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment.
I'm Frank.
Come on up and set the chairs up so you can go back to it.
I'm Frank Wentz, and we're just here to see what the progress is on that Wentz service crossing.
I think we're just ready to get it approved for the next week.
Okay, what are we going to put in it?
Same thing was there before.
Okay. Is there any way that we could put in like a box culvert to where if one of us wanted to move back down there to where we could get in and out, make it accessible?
So
we do have a livable house there. It's just we can't get there to take care of it.
the thing is, FEMA one, it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
The FEMA only replaced what was there before.
the hole was put there before it even got flooded out by the water. So my question is, how is FEMA going to be responsible for that? Because this happened a year ago on August 17th. It happened on a Sunday. I turned it in to Seth Howard on a Monday morning. So he should have told you guys Tuesday morning about it and had it repaired. I would have dealt with, we would have dealt with it then. So how are we blaming this on FEMA now?
We had the opportunity to have someone pay for it.
Is there any way we could raise that low water crossing up higher to where it doesn't flood all the time, to where you can accessible, we can get in and out, go to work?
My understanding is FEMA won't pay for that. What was there for 25 years is what we need to put in there. Not necessarily makes any sense because FEMA's, if there's a hurricane, they make it back the way it was, and it doesn't solve the problem when the next hurricane is. I don't disagree with you, but
Well, when
it's probably a $50,000 project. I don't think we got money around to throw $50,000 if we get it paid for.
When is this project planned
plan to start?
We should get it approved at next meeting is what we talked about, or the following meeting.
At least the following, because we're going to check with some other construction.
We had one construction person look at it. They give an estimate. We don't know what that estimate is. We decided it's good business to have more than one person, so it doesn't look like we're showing favoritism. So
It'll be definitely done by a third party.
And if you recall, when your group come up, I said we have good news and bad news. The good news is it's going to get fixed. The bad news is it's going to be FEMA. And
All right, next question. There's a piece of concrete that's still across where the old tubes were. Well, when it floods, it's just making like a waterfall and it's washing that out. Is there any way that it'd be okay for us to go down there, knock that concrete out, so when it does flood again, it'll fill that creek bed back in where it's washing out?
I
mean,
don't have the slightest idea. I don't think.
I can show you a picture of what I'm talking about.
I doubt that the commission has any objection to that.
Because I asked Mark Gentry and I've asked Roger Denton, and they told me to come talk to you guys.
I have no problem with it coming out.
I mean, like I said, I can show you a picture of the concrete that I'm talking about if y'all want to see it. I mean, it's just acts like a waterfall. It's going to wash a deep hole and just shove the rock and dirt out.
Seems like it should come out of there today.
If it comes out and it does flood again between the timetables, it's going to help fill that hole back in and wash it back in with rock and gravel or sand.
I have no problem with it as long as you would draw up some kind of paper. If either one of the Wentz's got hurt, the county wouldn't be responsible.
I would also want to make sure that it wouldn't throw us out of the FEMA money.
I don't think that would be the case.
I mean, I think that that should be looked at, because whenever, as a governing body, we condone or encourage something like that, it could throw us out.
It would probably make less work for them in the long run.
I'm not doubting that a bit, but you know where I'm saying. I mean, you've kind of got to go through their channels. So they're going to be paying the bills. But I know what you're saying.
Mark Twain said that common sense ain't so common.
I mean,
That applies to.
I think it should come out, because if you don't, you're gonna have to either fill it in with more rock or more concrete. Concrete is what's gonna cost you. I mean, I know you guys are, Roger was talking about drilling pillars to tie all that concrete together so it wouldn't flood out again or wash out.
Can we get back to you on that? That's the question you asked. Can we get back to you on whether you could remember it? My gut feeling is you could, but I think we need to seek some advice from other people.
We're just trying to, help move us along. I mean, if it's something that'll help you guys and help us get in there quicker to maintain things,
You've been in some of those meetings, haven't you, Wes? Could you add anything to this?
So you're allowed to temporarily repair that to make it usable before FEMA comes in. So FEMA, just so you know, they're really backed up. It's 68 counties included in this disaster. So it's not going to be the next week. They're here. They're still finishing the first PA meetings, and then they have to actually send FEMA reps out to each of our counties, which does not happen. So you're allowed to make corrections to make it usable. Now,
It's gonna
are we
take
seeing more of it?
it's gonna take a lot of work to make that even temporarily.
Well, I think our thought was this morning is we put it back the way it was, and that's the repair to make it usable.
And
And then we're just kind of
and
praying
then-
that we get our money for FEMA
Then wait for reimbursement.
versus waiting for the
You
government bureaucracy.
can't fill it in like it was. So I went down there shortly after it was brought to my attention. Someone had filled in with rock and dirt and sand. You can't do that temporarily to suffice until FEMA comes in and
well, that's when it was tubes.
Yeah, the
Have you
tubes are
seen it
plumbed.
since
The
tubes
tubes
are
are
out?
washed out. The
The tubes are gone.
Gone.
Non-existent.
gone.
Completely
So no matter
gone.
what happens in Washington.
Yeah.
So not that.
We built it up now to just be a day.
Our intent is to replace it the way it was as an emergency situation.
And I took it like Chairman Bauer, we're not gonna wait for FEMA, we're gonna go ahead, but we are gonna wait for another construction outfit to bid it, so we're comparing, then we're gonna proceed, and then we're gonna put it into FEMA, but we can only put it back the way it was.
The way it was, as in 3 small tubes.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've seen anything on 60 Minutes or things they've been talking about these hurricane areas where they do nothing none of the repairs are put back in order to prevent further damages in the future. And it doesn't
Improvements.
make any sense.
Yeah, they don't include improvements. It's just to get it back to
So if the
status quo.
days to put it back in, you guys put a little more in to maybe put a little bit bigger tubes in there to make it accessible, and that's
Anything you change,
That's
the size of tubes, the number of tubes, throws you out of, it's got to be back the way the last configuration was. It throws you out.
Well, this is on June 23rd. That's when it's
every day that place we can't get into, it's costing us money because we're trying to get it to where it's productive property again. Every day we can't get in there, it's costing us cash money.
Well, it had been that way for 25 years, though. I mean, the way that tube.
Out of the water crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father ran a salvage yard there for all of our lives.
So if it's back to them,
It wasn't a big deal for him to get in and out, because he didn't have a job to go to. He was just, and if we had to go to school, we got called into school, we couldn't get out, It was flooded in. And it's a commercial, it's zone commercial, and we'd like to start another business or get a productive farmland out there and do that. We gotta be able to get to it every day, and take care of things. I'm sure it's costing Mark Service money too, every time he came out of the day, he came back in there and take care of his couple of things.
yeah, I know Mark.
Let's try to have one meeting here.
The trick starts there out there by Tony
So we've answered your questions except for the piece of concrete you want to pull out of it.
Yep.
Is it allowable to take the concrete out of there that creates the water flow? And this is on the whole water crossing.
I haven't been in the conversation. I
Yeah.
haven't a clue what we're talking about.
We're talking about replacing the 3 tubes the same as FEMA had before.
Okay.
Evidently, there's a piece of concrete that creates
that concrete that we walked out on that day I took you down there and we measured it.
Can that concrete be removed?
Which side?
On the west side.
On the west side,
Where me and you measured across there to see how wide it was.
yeah. I'm not sitting here thinking it's gonna be any problem. It's just, you're not talking about the roadway itself.
No.
You're talking about on the side.
Just where the water comes in on the west side where the tubes used to sit, it's causing a waterfall effect. It's just digging the creek bottom out more.
Yeah, I don't see a real problem with it. I don't.
Okay, the next question, Pat, do we need some kind of legal, if they're gonna do the work, they're doing the work on their own, is there anything we
I
have
don't
to
think
do?
I don't think anything's needed, and, well, it's not your property, right? That's on services, is that right?
Well, that's services on each side of the creek, yes.
Well, the creek is also, we don't own the creek.
I know,
And
but it's part of the
at
crossing.
most we have a right of way, but
I mean, I'll call Mark and talk to Mark if that's a problem.
well, I don't think you need anything permission wise from the commission, but that doesn't mean that you have his permission to do it.
Well, that's what I said. I'll call Mark
I
and
don't
talk to
think
him.
I have a problem with
I
it.
don't think so either.
Work it out with Mark, do whatever you're gonna do.
Mark service.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure it's not, because we also have Mark entry.
No,
So-
it's Mark service.
Okay. Anything else?
I think technically it's probably still Leroy's, but I think Mark can talk on his
Right.
behalf. I think he's got
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen.
On the shows ownership on that.
Okay, moving right along.
Thank you.
I still worry about when people spend on property, they get hurt. It's not.
Okay.
It's a road, it's our road. And we wouldn't be fixing that road.
There's no-
Everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
I have no corrections or additions.
I make a motion to approve them as presented.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Commission comments and committee reports.
I went to KDOT's stakeholders meeting yesterday in Topeka, talking about future of transportation here in the state, different projects that they're interested in doing, wish lists from different entities, cities and counties across the Northeast district. It's pretty interesting and enlightening, and there is one bridge program that I think that we are already involved with, started to get applications for, that Representative Epley helped get refunded, so I think that will help be a benefit to Atchison County.
I have nothing. Mr.
I have
Chairman.
nothing. Okay, moving right along. West Lanter.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. This is new business. Well,
Nothing to do with it.
new business is part of it's West.
Okay, so today for you, we have several POs. The first one is the purchase order to replace our domain server. So we'll be purchasing a new PowerEdge Dell Blade server for $5,741.74, and that's our domain server that we host here at the courthouse that houses all of our permissions, securities, and our user files. Was budgeted to replace this year, so it'll be purchased. It'll take a month to get in, and then another couple weeks to get stood up and replace the actual existing domain server we have.
Did it come in under budget? Under budget?
Oh yeah, actually that price is about $1,500 cheaper than I expected it to be, which is great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
which is great. So yeah.
So the chair would entertain a motion to approve a purchase order for $5,741.74 to Coverage One Technology.
Also move.
I'll second that.
It's moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You know, I know you got something else before you go on. Anybody who's paid attention to the news in the last couple of weeks knows about all this ransom. Are we being as vigilant as we can be?
We are. We're actually with our Tyrion Micro. You guys just renewed our Tyrion Micro, which is our antivirus.
that helps with that. That is an extra step that we're taking on top of what we were already doing, because they have a new platform that is also going to help us with that. Plus, we do daily, weekly, and nightly, weekly, and monthly backups. And those backups are both stored here on site and off site. So if we get a ransomware or a hijacker that comes in and corrupts Kaylee's information, we have a backup from the night before. Or if she doesn't tell us for a couple days, then it backs up to that her files that are locked. We have weeks and months behind that we can restore.
So can
they could possibly do a day of her files or that individual's files, but we have the day before. So at most, she would have to recover a day of her files, which we were hit in 2015. We had ransomware that actually got through our network, and then we weren't as prepared as we are now. After that happened, we stood up quite a bit more defenses to make sure we don't have it. But we're always telling our employees, if you get an email from someone you don't know, don't open it. Send it to us. We'll verify it's not something that's corrupt or something that could take over our network. And if it is, we're gonna keep it. And if it's not, we're gonna tell you go ahead and open it. So.
Okay, next case.
Next one is the contract with Rainbow Communications. This is a contract that'll run fiber from 286 up to our transfer station or solid waste department. That is a 3-year contract with them for fiber services for $225 a month for the service. And then we did agree, since they're building a line from 286 up to us, we did agree to aid their construction by the amount of $5,300. So I have the contract ready to just sign on the second and the third page, and then the PO. Please.
First of all, I want to, Chair will entertain a motion to enter a contract with Rainbow Communication for a period of 3 years. I have a motion.
I'll
second.
It's moved in second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
And then in the yellow on the lower left-hand corner.
Just me. Okay. This is 8/27.
Yes.
It's hard to believe. Years disappeared. Okay, that's. And the chair will entertain a motion to Rainbow Communication for $5,300 to aid in the construction of the line to the solid waste department.
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved by Eric, seconded by Will.
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Then the fiber should be installed and active by October, is what they're telling me.
That's fast.
It is fast.
And you explained this morning, I asked this question, like the people that has our old number, they'll dial it, it'll transform.
Correct. So after the fiber is installed and active, we will discontinue our 2 copper lines out that facility. But we will forward those numbers to our VoIP system. So they can still continue to call those old numbers. They'll still work. It'll just save us money by not paying for those extra lines that we don't need anymore. And we'll discontinue the internet service that they currently have. It'll actually be a cost savings switching to fiber versus what we have. All right. That's all.
It's a win-win if it's cheaper and better.
Cheaper and better. We love cheaper and better.
Okay, I have an appointment here from the Board of County Commissioners for Kevin Bryant to represent the Education Division of the Atchison County Community Corrections Advisory Board. This we have a motion to approve. We have a motion to approve his appointment. Do I have a motion?
I second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. I have the 2019 second half appropriations that are due for different departments, things that we support. The chair would entertain a motion to approve these in the entire package. I think it amounts to
I had one question.
$184,000.
On the fair maintenance, we give them 7,500. And here the incentive payment was like, it wouldn't match up. Do we give them more the first part of the year than we do the second?
They may not be equal payments.
The first distribution was $4,746. The next distribution was $2,540. Equaling $7,500. I don't know.
Because some people pay the whole year's tax at the beginning.
I see.
So
The money has to be in the fund in order for it to be appropriated out to that entity. So that's why the amounts are what they are.
So, could I have a motion to approve these appropriations?
Also move.
Move the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. I think she just wanted us to initial
The
front page, and that all the purchase orders attached. Okay.
What this back to be phone or kind of.
Put it here.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We had a meeting this morning with Shelley, the Atchison County Community Corrections, went over her 2020 carryover reimbursement plan. We thought that was fine. We actually need to approve this, have a signatory approval. So I need a motion to approve the reimbursement plan for the 2020 budget.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes 3-0. Now, Bill, are you the governing body advisory board? You said it,
I serve on that board.
County Commissioner chairperson. Tell me what the difference of those two things are, Patrick.
They each need to be.
Seems to be redundant for me to sign both lines.
I think the governing advisory board chairperson will be the chairman of that board, and the county commission chairperson will be you. So I think the middle one you leave blank for at their meeting.
Chairman.
They will.
Okay,
Fill that in.
I was a little confused. Okay, just my signature. We have our letter from our Lisa Novelli, our auditor, going over, I guess there must be about 40 things she's commented on here. We've all reviewed it. We just want to make sure we've approved the findings of the Lisa Novelli as a governing body. So the chair would entertain a motion to approve this letter for the 2018 audit.
Also move.
I'll second it.
It's been moved to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Okay. Should be on paper.
Kill the tree today.
So we have some audits that the auditor made. Some adjustments that the auditor recommended. Basically, just moving things from one expense to some others. They're pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go over them all here. I'll let commissioners look at this morning. Chair will entertain a motion to allow county personnel to make these adjustments.
I so move.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There's no place to sign here. I think we will just initial it. I have a purchase here against County General for Road and Bridge. It is for 13 tubes. 7 of them are There's two 96-inch tubes for $8,560, 5 36-inch tubes for $6,430. To note, these are going to be paid for by West Star Energy if they're part of the project.
The first two lines.
The first two
Yeah,
lines.
not all.
And then there's 6 tubes, 24-inch tubes for $5,220. That's just basically for our
Inventory.
put in for our inventory. The chair would entertain a motion to approve. Purchase order $20,210.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
Is there more signage on these sticky notes?
Oh, there's more.
Is that,
I gave two. There's another one here.
To date that, Eric.
The chair will entertain a motion to enter in a contract with MEI for inspection and of our elevator here in the courthouse. It is for $1,560.
That's a move.
second?
Let's move the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. You just can pass those down to her.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well give it all the MEIs back up. I'll look to my folder down there. Okay, Roger.
Tube discussion. These are the maps and lists of the 6 culvert locations that were brought to be my muck gentry, as discussed with Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric wanted these discussed, I think.
Yes, we brought them in last week and nothing was reached. These are just tubes that are deficient. They are all on chip and seal or paved roads. Most of them are actually failing. Mark would like to consider having them bid out so we could get them in before harvest time, being they're on higher traveled roads. And we are so far behind on culvert work that these were just the next round that he would like to consider. He's the one that came up with the list. I mean, as far as placement, they are fairly all over, spread out, but that wasn't in a consideration, only that they were just deficient tubes.
Do we have the budget authority to do this, you think, or how do we stand?
Yeah, I think so. This is common. I mean,
So the action we'd be taking is to request for bids for these projects?
yes, this would just be a request for bids.
Rogers, that's good.
You know what, I would need to put together a very simple spec on them, similar to what we did before, so that I can send those out and get contractors to respond. My question to you is going to be related to time. What kind of time limit do you want on this? We just bid 6 culverts to do work on. We gave that contractor 90 days. We've issued a notice, I think 2 weeks ago now. My question is, and on half of them we bid, we got no quotes whatsoever on. So the best thing we can do is bid it, but I would suggest we stretch this out to 120-day time frame so that we can interest. I don't want to stop the interest of the current contractor that we've got project with, and I don't want to create him a problem of having too much going on too quickly that he has to say I have to
So what
refrain
action,
from bidding.
what action do we need to take today?
Just authorize me to go ahead and prepare and send it out, and I will make that adjustment. I just noticed you said you wanted it done before harvest. I
Well,
don't know if that's actually going to happen.
that was a wish, yeah. But I think too that he was letting me know that they are close to failing, and with the heavier weight traffic on when we get to harvest, we could have one fail anytime.
Okay.
Okay, so the chair will entertain a motion to approve Roger Denton to put together a bid sheet and to issue the bid sheet. And as soon as he comes back with the bids, you put a deadline on it, or?
I'd probably bring it back in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I will try, again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but nobody even knows what that means anymore. But,
A broken CD.
but I'm really having trouble getting everything done. So I'll try and get something out in a week, and I will still try and give people a week or two for getting me something back.
Well, now, like couldn't somebody from Road and Bridge go out and measure the tubes, the lengths?
The lengths are here. The lengths and diameter are already on
The
here.
diameter is here already. The length is here already. Everything's here.
But if it's these tubes ordered.
Yeah, we can go ahead and have Mark order these tubes, but he's ordering. He just put in an order, and I'm gonna be shocked if these are not on there. What do you have? How many 24 inchers?
6. Or
Well, he's got 1, 2, 3 on here. 36, 40, 35 feet long.
Yeah.
Do you have any 18-inch on there? He may
Yes,
be
118.
This is,
118.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
this is the
And-
purchase order. That's what,
the top ones are the West Star project, and then there was just the 24s. But we may have a lot of those other ones in stock. The 24s that were purchased on the PO we just signed today were just for
Okay.
inventory.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve Roger to proceed.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. We need to move into executive session. Do you want to make a motion for that, Eric?
which one?
And everybody in this room will be included except Kylie and Mary.
Is it attorney-client or personnel matters?
Personal matters. Is that correct? Everybody in this room will be except Mary and sorry, you and Kylie.
I'll make that. Oh, you better read it.
I'll move that the Board of County Commissioners recess into executive session at 1:32 p.m. to discuss matters of non-elected personnel as allowed by K.S.A. 75-4319B1, and that the purposes of the closed session is to protect the privacy rights of the employee, and that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session at, Jamie, how long would you
202.
come out of executive session at 2:02 p.m. in the commission room, first floor courthouse, and those present will be Pat Henderson, the county commissioners, Roger Denton, Wes Lanner, and Jamie Madison.
I second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
Yes,
Hand them in.
yes, please. Yes,
You
sir.
have them. Okay,
Yes,
you
I'm
got your
taking
name on them.
open
I didn't
meeting.
have a name on mine.
Thanks a lot.
You probably want that.
Thanks a lot, Roger. Great questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commission packet. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
Is there something that we needed?
Contracts for abstracting services,
I have two.
this is the,
Did I miss that or?
We haven't got to
It's
it.
on, you haven't got to it, County Council
Yeah,
updates. It's on 9.1.
Okay.
But was it in the packet? We didn't see it in. Okay.
I had 2 copies, so
Okay.
there's 2 copies.
All of unfinished business for the board. I don't know of any. Does anybody have any? County councilor update.
I have there, it's a contract for abstracting services with Keith Wilson, who's done our abstracting for I think every tax sale. We used to do half of it when we had 2 abstractors in town. We just have 1 now. It's the same price as we had last time we did this, at $120 per tract. And we have 100 and some tracks ready to go. So I would ask that you approve that or give me some direction on how you want the abstracting done. if that's not the way you want to go.
But this is the same procedure, same rates, everything is the last.
Yes.
So,
It is.
The chair would entertain a motion to enter a contract for abstracting services, anticipation of judicial tax sale proceedings with O'Keefe Wilson Abstracting, 701 Kansas Avenue. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.
You need this back.
I need one of them back to get back to O'Keefe Wilson, so we'll each have a signed original, and the other original should probably go to the clerk. Thank you.
And this is the clerk's original. Anything else, Pat?
No.
Okay. Any public comment? Questions? Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 2:06. We didn't do as quite as fast as last time.